Hi everyone, this is Dr. K. Just wanted to talk about social distancing today. I was at the bank to deposit some checks, and I noticed that the bank teller was really not happy when I entered the premises. And I didn't understand why they were being rude or semi-rude towards me. So I said I have some checks to deposit and I have this other thing to do. Then they asked me, why don't you just do it in the ATM outside? So apparently people are becoming more scared, and apparently all of these banks, they really don't want to come inside. They don't want to, although they have a glass door separating from the client, they really don't want to handle checks or anything physically. So I went to this other bank to do something else because I was already outside driving, and then this other bank was completely closed and they didn't even have the drive-through. So I had to figure out what to do with my business there. So I went to a third bank. These are all different. These are not the same bank. These are different banks. So I went to the third bank, and this one was closed, and the only way to deposit the checks was through a drive-through. So they're actually, they're not essentially open for business, but you can do stuff through the drive-through. So this seems to be a trend in most of the businesses. Most of the restaurants will allow you to take out. So as I usually don't go out and do these things on a regular basis. Today was the day I had to go out and do these things. So I realized social distancing is becoming really big. So I want to talk about what's happening practically. I know there are some new guidelines. Initially they said you had to be 6 feet away, and they're expanding the guidelines. They're saying you should not come outside of their house and all of that. So what is happening is the flights are still going back and forth. Apparently a lot of people from New York City are coming to Florida. The total volume of the flights has decreased by 30%, both nationally and internationally, which means a lot of people are still flying. Whether it's for pleasure or business, I really don't know. When I go outside, people are on the boats, they're on the water, people are jogging outside. They're going for their evening walks and so forth. I'm not saying that's wrong. So coming back to the whole idea of social distancing, unless it is strictly enforced, I don't think it is going to work, and I don't see it working. And this is not communist China, so you can't really enforce. Freedom is a big deal here. So and there's a lot of controversy about should people do social distancing or not, but that's what the government wants you to do. So I think whatever this virus is going to spread. The numbers are going to grow. Last night I posted a statistical website, and it gives you trends, and it will give you the exact date when it's going to peak. I don't know how accurate the information is, but I think they use some statistical analysis to project the numbers. So you can look at that. It's posted in my page, and you can look up by your state and by the entire country on the drop down menu. So that will give you a decent idea of when exactly it's going to peak in your area or in your state. I think in Florida it says it's going to peak in mid-May or so. Sounds reasonable. I'm not seeing a lot of cases at this time, at least in the practice. I don't want you to be really concerned about social distancing. If you need to go out and do stuff, I think you should do that. I really want to talk about fear and anxiety because of the social distancing, a lot of people are exhibiting fear and anxiety. And unfortunately, when you have a lot of fear and anxiety, it leads to emotional chaos. I recently talked to a nurse friend of mine, and they know a pharmacist who works in a retail pharmacy. And per them, the real data showed, this is practical data, that showed the prescriptions for benzodiazepines increased by 30% in the last 1 month. So again, this is anecdotal, but I have to go by what data I get from the people I talk to. So what actually that means is people are becoming really anxious, and they're relying on prescription medications. The problem with taking a lot of benzodiazepines is you tend to develop dependence over a period of months to weeks, And once you become dependent, you'll have a hard time falling asleep at nighttime. And instead of using coping strategy for stress and anxiety, you tend to use the medication. And I'm not really big about that. So the issue with that is you actually become dependent on the doctor or the psychiatrist who's prescribing it. So I really urge people, if you know people who are anxious, I really urge them to tune in to one of my videos. We talked about emotional eating. I'm going to do the forgiveness meditation this Tuesday at 6 p.m. Feel free to share this video and invite your folks, your friends, or family to that video. I'm going to teach you some real-world strategies that will make you independent of the medical system, because we really don't know how this is going to play out. You don't know if you're going to get an appointment with your psychiatrist or the doctor in the next few months, because a lot of doctor's offices are closing. And typically when they prescribe the benzodiazepine, whether it is the lorazepam or one of the other benzodiazepines, they only prescribe 1 month supply. Some may prescribe refills, but most of them will prescribe 1 month supply. So there are a lot of strategies. Cognitive behavioral therapy works really well. You look at the beliefs, you look at the thoughts, and try to see where the anxiety is coming from, and try to figure out a realistic strategy. Most of the people are in fear because of the unknown, because they don't know if they're going to die, which is a true fear. I'm not saying that it's unfounded. So, but we're all going to die at some point of time. Maybe it's 100 years down the line. I don't know. So, I gave a lot of strategies in the last few days about enhancing your immunity. Like practical steps to decrease the chance of death, to decrease the chance of getting the virus. So I would urge you to look at those videos. So I look forward to talking to you again. I encourage you to tune in on Tuesday evening for my meditation video. I usually don't do them on a regular basis. It takes a lot of planning and so forth on my front. So and again, if you want to reach out to me, if you want a consultation, you can DM me. I look forward to talking to y'all. Hopefully you're having a wonderful weekend. Thanks.